Welcome to part 31. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in it. This part is going to be about Blaze Pizza and the disgusting way that corporate works and doesn't take care of its employees. And I'm going to talk about another incident with the Drizzes, and I'm going to give you a trigger warning, CSA. Okay, so trigger warning. Okay, so my assault was 2015. Okay. At the time of the assault and when they got arrested and everything, they had already been going through something, another thing about violating a woman's boundaries, except this time she was underage. It was a girl's boundaries they violated and were found guilty of. Okay, so 2012, let's back way up. 2012 is when Rick and Elise Wetzel, they own that huge corporation, Wetzel's Pretzels. I think they also own Panda Express, I'm not sure. But they founded Blaze Pizza, and it's a Southern California-based fast pizza chain. And it's so big, it expanded so crazy, so fast, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. I think it's international now. That a food industry research firm called Technomic, they called it the fastest growing restaurant chain in the USA. So huge numbers. The main investors, they had angel investors and main investors when they first opened their first one in Southern California. And those investors were LeBron James. I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong. He should be made well aware of what the corporation that has his name on it, how it treats its customers, it's underage employees, and how it treats clearly violent dangers to society, and how they coddle them and really don't. There's a lot of lines that are being crossed by Blaze Pizza. So, main investors, LeBron James, Maria Shriver, Patrick Schwarzenegger, and then, of course, the three Drizzes, Maurice, Alberto, and Sean Driz, three of the men named in my lawsuit that were all convicted. So, my assault's 2015. Let's back up to 2013. 2013 is when the young girl that was 16 years old, and you can Google this. There's like several articles online about this. You can just, So this girl's 16 years old. She applies for a job at the Torrance Blaze Pizza, which is owned by the Drizzes, and because she lives like less than a 5-minute drive from there. So she applies for a job. She gets it, and then she works her way up to a manager within 2 years of working there. But during that time, and I quote, she complained to corporate. She complained to the Drizzes about what they were doing to her body, to her everything, both in private and in front of customers. She complained to them because she, like, what I was supposed to do. And then she went and complained to corporate. And she said that there were schmexually, TikTok word, sorry, schmexually demeaning and explicit comments, gestures, touching, unwanted massages, kissing, touching of the buttocks, all from the twins while she's working, and she's underage. She's not even 18 yet. Corporate responds by saying, and by the way, this is all happening at the same time of the corporate response and stuff and all this, and her beginning of her civil lawsuit. This is all happening during the very beginning of my lawsuit and their arrests and their convictions and their sentencing. This is all happening at the same time. Corporate told her, if you don't like it, you can resign, get another job, or we can move you to another location 30 miles away. And 30 miles away in Los Angeles is that's like a different hemisphere. It's crazy hour drives if you drive the wrong time of day. It's insane. So they gave her those options, and obviously she quit and she went and got some attorneys. Good for her. She ended up taking him to court. She got dragged through court with meaningless mediations, with just all this. They forced her to do a psychiatric evaluation, just like the Drizzes forced me and my brother to do psychiatric evaluations, not once, but twice, 8 hours each time. And they used the same doctor for my case that they did for hers, even though they were years apart, the trials and all that stuff. Because they're using the same team of people and fixers and all that. And I'm going to get into this guy. He's so, anyways. So she ends up winning, and the charge is schmexual battery of an underage girl. That's the charge. A jury found them guilty and awarded her past, future, and economic losses plus punitive damages, just like my trial. She was awarded, but I don't think she was paid, and can find out, but she was awarded about $500,000. Okay? This is right before mine, and they awarded us, we're now at like 90 million is what we're owed by this group of men. So this is how terrible they are. This has nothing to do with my case, but it has everything to do with my case. But now I want to talk about Blaze Pizza and how terrible they are. So these men, they'd already had this case on the table about this underage girl coming to them for help and being turned away from being kissed and touched and all this stuff. And corporate's like, well, we like them. You can get out of here, or you can just go work at another one far away that's inconvenient you for driving. Then all my stuff happened. So let's move ahead a little bit, about a year after the arrests in my case. So we're in March 2016. The Drizzes are found guilty. 11 counts. They're convicted felons now. 11 counts of GBI felonies. They are guilty. Blaze Pizza didn't fire them then. They didn't fire them after the underage girl thing happened. They didn't fire them after they got arrested and saw everybody knew about my injuries and all of our injuries. They didn't fire them then. They didn't fire them a year later in March 2016 when they were convicted. Then 6 months after that, September 2016, they were sentenced. They didn't fire them then because, and I have the transcripts, their attorney said, Your Honor, Alberto and Maurice jointly own a business. That would be Blaze Pizza. They jointly own a business. And our hope was to stagger their jail time. They plan on doing two weekends a month, maybe within a year. Can you imagine being this terrible of a human being and criminal, and your attorney has the audacity to tell the judge what you're planning on doing with the jail time, when and how you can do it, so it doesn't inconvenience your work and inconvenience running 11 Blaze Pizza joints? So, and of course, obviously, the judge was like, that's totally fine. No follow-up questions. So all this happens. Let me just post this real quick. So at the end of the year in 2016, like a year and a half-ish after my assaults, the night before I posted my impact statement, which I think is in part 13 of my series, the night before was the first time I posted publicly on social media about what happened to me. And I posted photos of my face. I posted the experience of all the craziness. And everybody ran over to like Facebook and Instagram and started leaving all these messages on Blaze Pizza's place. Like, you support violent men. Like, you support, like, we're boycotting you, blah, blah, blah. And Blaze Pizza went and put this like copy and paste response to, they had like 2 or 3 responses, but they were all like this. We are appalled by this violent behavior and will not tolerate it. We have removed Mr. Driz and family from store operations. In fact, there was a quote that I found from a news article that covered this. And it says, Blaze Pizza respond by saying, we are appalled by and do not condone the violent behavior of the Driz family. This is on a Facebook page. Upon learning about this, that's the first lie. Upon learning about this, we immediately removed Mr. Daniel Driz and his family, who are franchise partners in a very small number of LA restaurants. It's 11. And Sean Driz told us 2 years ago at the civil trial that they were on course to own 24 until we messed it up. So what that shows is that in December of 2016 is when Blaze Pizza said that they publicly removed them from operations, months after the sentencing, months and months and months after the convictions, and year and months and months and months after the arrests, and much, much longer after this girl won for criminal schmexual battery of an underage girl. All of this has happened, and Blaze Pizza is falling all over themselves to make sure these men can still be around clients and employees and stuff, and underage people inside of their restaurants. They don't care. They don't care about you or me. And that's all the proof. I also have heard, because I know people that work at Blaze Pizza, and I know people that have worked and still stay in touch with current employees of Blaze Pizza that were part of the 11 locations the Drizzes owned. And I have heard very recently that one of the people working there was asked to go in and do, what's the word? Like, outside of working hours, like, hey, can you go open the store up and do something, whatever? Because Alberto Driz asked us to tell you to, because he has to get in there to do something, blah, 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 blah. Like, because he's still calling shots. So now, but he divested, right? Well, here's the thing. They sold 11 locations worth about $11 to $15 million altogether. They sold all 11 for a total of $100,000 to their business partner, Peter Corral. So I'm going to get into that soon, but so there's your little thing. CSA, Blaze Pizza is terrible, and yes, let's boycott. Let's figure out a hashtag. Thank you guys so much.